Hello, you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we are on the Link to Expert Business Showcase. I am one of your hosts, Cece Shatz. I'm the doyen of relationship building, and I have my very good friend here with me.
Joanne Weiland, Why Land When You Can Fly with Link to Expert, where you can find an expert in minutes and you can be found as an expert in minutes.
I love that. And of course, you guys know you can find all of our information right there on goingboldmedia.com. That's goingboldmedia.com, where we have all of the information for our shows and our guests and wonderful information there that you can gather and use as you're moving forward in your life. So we have a terrific guest today. Man, I'm really super excited about the show. We're going to be talking about I am empowered, and nothing excites me more than that, for sure. So, Joanne, you want to do the introductions?
Yes, I'd like to introduce Marya Flurnoy. I have actually known her for almost 4 years. I met her at an Amazing Women breakfast. And as soon as I met her and I saw her business card said, imagine the possibilities. I was like, I have got to get to know this woman. And ever since, I am on her weekly call with her husband, Ron. And I love it because I learn something from them every week. And they also teach you not just something, but they teach you how to apply it to your life. So I'm so excited to have Marya as our guest today. Welcome, Marya.
Thank you so much, Joe. And I wanted to say thank you so much for all the great work that you do and with CC. It's just really, it's lovely to see everyone collaborating together. So thank you. You're pretty amazing.
Well, thank you. And I really do believe that is really a secret sauce that a lot of people talk about, but they don't always do it. Where I was so grateful when Cece actually called me and invited me to be a co-host because she also is very similar to always exposing people because sometimes we forget that a lot of times we think, it's all about what we know. But one of my mentors told me at least 20 years ago, he says, Joe, it doesn't matter what you know. It matters who knows you and what you can do for them. I was like, whoa, that changed my life. Who knows me and what I can do for them? And it's so sad, but so many experts, what I call experts, consultants, coaches, team builders, trainers, facilitators, authors, all these amazing people are brilliant, but they forget that if they can't express and get to the people that can actually hire them, it doesn't really matter what they know because of the fact that if nobody knows how you can make their life easier, they're probably not going to call you or contact you. So I didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but I had just read some of my old journaling notes about that. And I was like, oh, wow, Tom, you're so right. And so that's why today we would love to share what Maria is can do for you so
Well,
that you know too why you would want to contact her. So Maria, we
thank you,
are
Joe.
so impressed that you are here. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. And it's funny that you talked about what you know and what you don't know. So I'm sharing with you that I've been in business for almost 40 years. Actually, my first business that I started was when I was 11 years ago. And I won't tell you how many years ago that is.
You mean
But
when you were 11 years old, right?
I'm 11 years old. And I'm not going to say how old I am today because that's not necessary. But that first business that I started was a babysitting business. And I miraculously had a following. And one of my biggest successes of that, it wasn't about the money that I made. I think it was 50 cents an hour back then. But it was about, I chose not to watch TV while I put the kids to bed. I chose to read from the books in the library of the homes that I was babysitting. So I had, they were all friends and they were all salespeople. The men were like insurance salespeople, the fathers. And back then, I would get into Zig Ziglar and this stuff before, whether it was positive thinking or how to live your life, or it was salesmanship. It just fascinated me. And they were successful clients back then. Their homes were gorgeous. So that as well fascinated me and led me to wanting to go into an interior design business. So back in my 30s is when I opened up the doors of my first business. Today, I am what I call re-inspired instead of retired, re-inspired. And my purpose today is to be a mentor and share with others these gems that have come to me, been gifted to me. And the gems are so important for us all to find our own gems. We all have our own genius. We all have our own expertise, and we all capture the gems. Joe, you were sharing one with us earlier about it doesn't, and this is what we share with our young designers when we were training them. People don't care what you know, but they care that you care. They don't really care what your knowledge is. They want to feel like they are special and important. And I think that's something that every business owner, every woman that is creating her own business, whether she's in business at a young age or she's mentoring people, to remember that people don't necessarily care what you know. It doesn't even matter to them.
Right.
So that is one of the tools that I teach so many people, or share that gem. And the other thing I share is, because I do teach a lot of classes, and what I share is I don't know anything and I know everything. And the reason why I share it that way is I believe that we are all unique, individualized expressions of spirit, more than the physical body. So in the business world, what I'm attempting to do with my new book, Just Be It Now, is to create this congruency with business and spirituality. Because you see, my business has always been a spiritual business and the creative forces. So going back to what I was sharing, it's very important to understand and recognize that when you're in business, a key importance is to recognize within you that you are empowered already. So Joe, we don't, but I'm not going to use the word coach because it's not my preference. I rather be a mentor, a guide. I think the word coach is overused. I believe that there are amazing coaches out there, and I believe that if you're going to give yourself that title, then you better be doing it for at least 20 years, so that you have experience in directing and mentoring people. But in my business, we pretty much had to mentor young designers out of college. And that sometimes was not an easy task. The design industry is, it's different. You go to college and you learn all this information, and then you come to work for me, and I don't need any of it yet. I need to know what you use as your tools for communication. And pretty much young college students don't have that yet. They don't have it developed. So in mentoring these young, beautiful adults, the first thing I share with them is that there's nothing wrong with them and there's nothing to be fixed. So when you're coaching, when you start out with that, when you start out with sharing how amazing you are and give me your talents, let me teach you how to embrace those and expand on it, because you're an expansive individual, right? So that's kind of where I go with the coaching. I'm not here to fix anything. We start off with the premise that you're already uniquely individualized and perfect. Isn't that interesting, Joe? I mean, isn't that interesting to come from that place?
Oh, it is. It makes me laugh when you were saying that. I was thinking of all the years I grew up in corporate, and they would do these tests and they would check what you're good at and what you're bad at. But what did they focus on? What you're bad at. Like, for example, me, I am not good at Excel spreadsheets or any kind of spreadsheets. Okay. And they would keep sending me to classes to be a better spreadsheet, whatever you call it, person, that could do spreadsheets. And I told them, I'm the only one, we had like 100 salespeople that loves to cold call. Why don't you let me be on the phone cold calling and let somebody else do my spreadsheets? And they're like, oh. And then they gave me 3 assistants because I kept calling and kept making $1 million every month. And then they would cut me and then I would do it again, blah, blah, blah. That's not the point point. But it is so good that you focus on what they're good at, because when we all focus at what we're not good at, we really lose sight of what we are good at, and that's our natural ability. And usually, if you're like me, I love doing that. I don't even ever feel like I'm working, since I started my own business and do what I love. And I feel like that is the key. So how about you, Cece? Have you ever worked anywhere where they wanted to focus on what you were good at or bad at?
Well, I try not to go to the bad because I don't want to highlight that. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think we all have stuff, that we don't like, or maybe we're not the best at. And so why not focus on what we're really good at, And I think when you have a coach or a mentor, that's their philosophy, is to really home in and really understand, the person themselves, and let that blossom. Because I think when we're talking about empowering, right, we're really talking about inspiring. And so when we're inspiring someone to really reach their depth and their expansion, there's no boundaries to that, so we can, all we have to do is just tap into what it is that brings them maybe joy or harmony, or inspires them, and then let the door open, you know and then
Exactly.
give them a guidance along the way, some path along the way. Because, when we focus on the negative, that's all we're going to get is negative. When we focus on the positive, that's exactly what we'll get, is some new beginnings. Absolutely.
Exactly. And I'm going to get a little bit deep here for a minute, if you'll allow me.
Yeah, I love it.
So the way I understand quantum mechanics, and let me backtrack a little bit. Interior designer, plus then you have your own firm, plus then you're hiring people, plus then you decide, oh, let me learn feng shui. So you study feng shui. Now you're a consultant of feng shui. Then you go deeper. Oh, wait, there's more to this. It's all about energy and frequencies. So you take all these quantum classes. Okay, so here I am today, explaining to the world, not just you, but explaining the importance of where your energy is located. So for instance, if I hire someone, or if I'm meeting a new client, and this is a key for all interior designers out there. If there's any of you interior designers, this is so important. It made me so successful. I would walk into the home, and now I know, looking at the home, they may need their walls painted or new furniture. But one of my first questions to the client is, tell me about what you love in this home, and tell me more. So they start talking about, well, I love the way this room is situated, or I don't like all this other stuff, but I love that chair. Can we keep that chair, please? When you start out with what is beautiful, or what you love, or what is positive, that energy frequency expands to make the whole situation all of a sudden an ideal situation for everyone. So that means the designer, the business owner, the client. It just will keep expanding. Most interior designers that I've spoken to will walk into a home and say, oh dear, that's got to go, and you don't want that, and tell the client everything that's wrong with their home. And I learned this very young in age. I was actually designing a home for St. Petersburg, a couple. Both of them were professors. And that was the question I asked, and he stopped me. And he said, that is genius, Maria. And I looked at him, I said, what's genius? And he said, how you asked me to tell you what I love. That's genius. And he said, I've never had a designer ask me that question. So that's when I started implementing it in all of our training, how to communicate with people on all levels, whether it's a client, a vendor, a business associate, to always bring the energy started out from a positive energy segment of words, sentences, questions, so that can expand out. Now, this is what happens, the quantum part of it. I leave the clients home and I'm feeling pretty good because they're feeling pretty good. So then I get in my car, I go to the store, I buy the groceries for dinner, I talk to the clerk, and I'm just feeling so good that all I can do is smile, thank them, they're having a bad day, tell them I want you to have a great day, leave. But I just gave that clerk an energy imprint, and she received it. So then she'll go home or she'll talk to her coworkers and lift the energy of the whole grocery store. So the importance of understanding quantum mechanics and energy is you're not doing it just for you. You're doing it for everyone.
Right. It keeps expanding.
It just keeps expanding. And believe me, today we need that. We need that in every aspect of what's going on in business and in the economical climate of the country. We need to know how important we are and how important it is for us to come from that empowered place, because we're not just doing it within our company and for our company. We're pretty much doing it everywhere.
Right. Well, it's so true. And it makes me smile because Cece, when she again invited me to be a co-host, I love it because of the fact that basically the question you asked your clients is what we do our best to ask the people we have on the show. What do you love? Because if you know that I really do believe when they do what they love, it shows just like you're talking about, and then it keeps expanding into so many other people. And that you know, it's so exciting just to see how even like, you know, one time I heard a smile goes 1,000 miles, like you were saying about the grocery store. Then, you know, and then she goes home or smiles at another customer, and it does keep expanding. And it really is exciting when we all focus on what we love, and then it makes us excited. And of course, then, you know, it just keeps expanding. So, when you were, you know, even reading all those books, I was just curious because I know you're a reader, but I wanted to let the world know too. Because so does that mean that you can't just read one book and learn it all and you're set for life?
Well, you can if like you start out reading one book and let that be your Bible and take it beyond that. Usually what happens, and I don't read anymore, Joe, I have to tell you. I will skim read. I get a lot of books shipped to me from different people. I'll skim read, but what I like to do now is hold the book and feel the energy and open up to exactly what I needed to read or what I needed to hear.
Interesting.
I don't recommend everybody do it, but if you want to play with that, please do, because you might find it to be very insightful and encouraging to develop your intuition. But I was so hungry when I was younger to understand the concepts of just living, the concepts of communication, the concepts of thinking positively. My background wasn't necessarily a positive one, though I had loving parents that did the best that they could. And you know, there was some situations in my childhood that I would say are, you know, I don't share that story anymore, because one of the things that I teach people is change the story. So my childhood was filled with all kinds of different memories, and I cherish the great ones, and some of the great ones are read what I read in those books, because I was able to say to myself, people live so differently. Even in the homes that I went to, they were beautifully decorated. And we had, my parents were immigrants. They were hardworking people. We as children actually had to work in their businesses, dry cleaning business and restaurants as young children. I don't think that it's allowed today, how, you know, the ages that we started working. But it was, I'd go into these homes and experience such a different environment, different way of communicating. And then when I would read the books, they gave me something to really look forward to. So I would say, you know, you have many books in your lifetime. So I don't have, actually, Just Be It Now, the book that I'm almost done writing that will be published real soon here, is probably the gems of everything that I've learned. I like to say that I'm a pirate. I just take the gems and the diamonds, and I don't just write about them because this book is taking me 15 years. I apply them to my life, make sure that they're working, and then I could share. Like, for instance, changing how you say things. And Joe, you may have heard me say this on our morning call, but there's when you're teaching people to be prosperous in business, there's something I learned a long time ago when, as a young designer, you start realizing, well, I'm in the industry of selling luxury items, okay? Though I may not have the money to spend on the homes, I don't have the same home that these clients have, but this is the industry I'm in. So I'm to attract people that could afford me, right? So instantly I would be able to read people. So if I introduce myself to a crowd of people or a networking group, I'm an interior designer, have an interior design firm. If one of the first things out of their mouth is, oh, I can't afford you, which has happened many times, I instantly know that the potentiality of them being a client isn't going to be there right away. And so what I teach my young designers and the clients that I mentor, and I say clients, I also do energy processing. So fast forward, been designer, have a design firm, it's still in existence. I have a marketing firm, I have a consulting firm, and I have 2 restaurants that I'm a partner in. So when I say client, it's either interior design client or processing client. So back to what I would teach them. If you could just change your verbiage, and that is your thoughts too, to I can't afford that, change it to I'm choosing not to spend my money for that at this time. What you've done is you've energetically and quantumly not only trick your subconscious mind, and I'm saying trick because subconscious mind is going to believe whatever you say. You are going to create your beliefs from whatever you're thinking and whatever you say. But you've done that. You've shown your subconscious mind a different way. Number one, I'm choosing, which means you have power. You are empowered. You can make a choice. Number two, I'm choosing not to spend my money. So my money, meaning I already know I have it. Now you have to remember the law of attraction. And I'm sure you've had many people on your show, so I'm not going to go into that. But law of attraction is it's already here. It's up to us to realize that it's here. We don't have to create anything. We don't have to manifest anything. So we realize that it's here. So when you say my money, I choose not to spend my money that way at this time, you've already acknowledged that it is there for you. And in the quantum world, the universe is expansive. When you say the word infinite, like discover the possibilities, they're infinite, which is on our boulders and our slogan. When you say that, you can't have infinity and no infinity. It's either infinite or it's nothing, but you can't have both. So when you say infinity, that is always expansive. There is no line that you can draw around infinity. It just keeps expanding out. And being able to grasp that concept for not only prosperity in money, but prosperity in relationships, prosperity in experiences, prosperity in every way, in joy, happiness, peace, that just keeps expanding for you. So you take one hiccup. So if you have a challenge, I call them hiccups. They're not challenges, it's a hiccup. Because when you see it as something that small, it's easier to work through it. You take one, you focus on it, you change your verbiage. That means you're changing the language that you are thinking and speaking, which is energy going out to be received. Once it's received, it comes back to you. Take that one issue, one hiccup, change it, start working on it, make a decision to change it. What you'll notice is all of your relationships start getting better. You start making more money. Friendships keep building. You discover that by shifting that one hiccup, it's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect in your whole world. And I think, Joe, you've experienced that. I know you personally. I know that you've experienced that over the years. And that's so key into being in the present moment for yourself every day in business and every day in your life.
I agree. And let's share that more about that when we come back from the break, Cece. And I mean, because I do agree with Maria. I have, and many people I know have, and it's so worth going deeper. So Cece.
Yes, definitely. Okay, you guys, we're listening to Link to Expert Business Showcase, and you're on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact GoingSoloDirectory.com.
Welcome back to Link to Expert Business Showcase. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. All of our information is on goingboldmedia.com, so check that out. All of our wonderful guests and hosts are there, all of their information, so we want to make sure that we have that readily available for you, so just check that out. We are having so much fun here. I am Cece Shatz, the doyenne of relationship building, and Joanne, tell me a little bit about you.
Joanne Weiland, when you can fly. I just love this topic about empowering ourselves, because very similar to what Maria is talking about is my original mentor was Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. And when he taught me so many of these things that were so almost directly opposite of what I was taught all my life, it really does take a while to, if you will, embrace it and believe it. But once you do, I really encourage you to, because even though it seems so far-fetched, if you think it, you can accomplish it, but you really, truly can. I have done it over and over in my life. And sometimes, even though you have done it like me over and over, there's still sometimes all of a sudden you get to another hurdle and you're like, I could never do that. And then you have to if you will, I tell myself, I have to get a hold of myself and say, wait a minute, you can, just believe you can. And, so like with me, I actually, write letters, journals, speak it out loud to myself, speak it to other people. I used to call it fake it till you make it. And it really is a lot like that, because even though you might not believe it at first, if you keep repeating it and telling other people, what you can do, it's like with me, I tell them what we can do together. And they kind of give you that weird look like, how could we ever get in front of 5 million people? Well, we can, because Cece made it possible. And,
Doing it today.
Yes. And so, but again, you just have to believe it. And Cece called me out of the blue when I knew we needed to get to the next level of expansion to reach more people. Because like we said in the beginning of the show, it's not really what you know, it's who knows you and what you can do for them. Otherwise, they're just not going to, in my world with the experts, that if they want to hire you, you got to tell them what you can do to make their life easier. Because unfortunately, that's what people are really wanting to know, making them feel special, making, like Maria would come in to their house and say, what do you love about this place? Well, start asking your clients those kinds of things as well. No matter what business you're in, what do you love about what you're doing, and help them expand that instead of focusing on the one negative thing like mine was Excel spreadsheets, And some people love that. Actually, Cece's one of those people that loves QuickBooks and Excel and all that.
No.
You don't love it, but you do it. Okay, well, I thought maybe.
We do a lot of things we don't really love, but I'm doing what I love today. That's for sure. I want to make sure that we have your email and everything so that people can get a hold of you. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, my email is on the screen, and I would like to share with all of your guests a little booklet that gives you the 12 insights that are very powerful to make shifts in your life. I mentioned earlier that I do this energy processing. When I like that Joe said, fake it till you make it, right? But sometimes it takes a while, right? Because we have blockages, whether it's a belief or a perspective that we have this blockage. So the energy processing that I do shifts really actually quickly. And many of you have heard of energy work, so I won't go into that, but I'm going to give you some questions, prompt questions from the actual energy work that I do that you can play with. And everybody will receive a guided visualization on quantum jumping your timeline. So when you listen to it, you're going to go into this relaxed state of being, and you're going to visit your future self. I know this sounds far-fetched, but you are going to time travel. Trust me. Everybody that listens to this gets some results, and you're going to communicate with your future self, get the insights and wisdoms that you need for today, so that you are prepared for more wonderfulness in your life. And so what you'll have to do is please email me, mention the name of the show, or LinktoEXPERT, mention that you are on the show. You will get it, and it's free to everybody. I'm happy to share that.
Well, thank you. We'll make sure we have that, add that to our show notes too. So if you send me a little bit more information on that, we'll add it to the show notes. But those of you that are not able to see the screen, you're listening to us on a podcast format, I'd like to go ahead and share that with you. And her name is spelled Marya at MaryFlurnoy.com. And that is her website too. It's MaryFlurnoy.com. It'll be in our show notes, so you can check it out. It'll all be right there for you. And so, grab these free gifts that our wonderful guests share with us all the time. We are so thankful that you do. And, I think this is really, truly great, because if we can have something at our fingertips that can kind of shift our mindset, shift our lives into a more positive direction, I say go for it, man. I mean, let's do it, right? Because there is just enough going on in the world that we need this positive energy, and we want to be able to take advantage of it. I have heard this before. One of my friends actually shared this with me, so I know that it works. And so I definitely want to encourage everyone out there to please contact Marya and get this information and try it for yourself, and let's see, right?
Yes, and thank you, Cece, because you, Joe, all three of us, I know we have lived this. I mean, I honestly can tell you things happen instantly sometimes now. Okay, so I would have never dreamed when I was a kid that I'd have 6 businesses and that I'd be in this place that I'm at right now. But it's a practice, so we practice it and we share it, because the more we share, the more it grows and expands. So thank you so much, Cece. It's such an honor to be on your show, and you're pretty amazing and empowered. I just want to tell everybody.
Thank you.
I looked around at what you've been doing. Holy cow, amazing, good work. Thank you for doing that.
No, thank you. But it's all about raising our vibration. And so when we raise our vibration, we raise our energy level, and those that are attracted to us are on the same plane.
Always.
So think about that for a moment. Would you rather be up here or would you rather be down here? For me, I'd rather be up here. So I want to raise my vibration level, raise my energy level, attract those into my life that are going to make a difference and shift my surroundings. So most certainly, I think this is really wonderful. And I'm looking forward to your new book out. It's going to be called Just Be It Now. And hopefully you'll come back on our Goodreads Authors Corner, LinktoEXPERT. And gosh, we'd love to share that, Just Be It Now.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the book as well. So thank you. I will, just be it now means you don't have to do a whole lot, by the way. So because if you follow Eckhart Tolle's work, just be in the present moment and be in acceptance, right? You pretty much have peace inside. But so it's been a little bit of a, not challenge, but like I want to give enough information. I want readers to be drawn in, but I want them to feel their own empowerment. So it's not coming from me. Whatever they get comes from within them. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of how I'm writing the book. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And just to share a note that everyone is indeed, there is always a spark of that empowerment within you wherever you're at in your life. And try to remember that. Come on the show here, Joe and Cece's show, listen to some positive energy, read some good books, embrace that you are a unique, individualized expression of something more than this physical body. And I know that miracles and wonderment will happen if you just can be open to that. That's all.
Absolutely. No, that's so positive. So when will the book be out, do you think?
I'm hoping in February. I'm just wrapping it up. Getting it published is not really a big deal. It's just the editing and the final touches, as you know. So yeah. So we're
all the fine tuning that we have to do.
That's all.
Yeah.
The cover was designed before I wrote the book. So you know.
So is it something like, I wonder, and as you're talking about it, I wonder, and what brings to mind the title, Just Be It Now, it's like, living in the presence of yourself, right? It's really, all that I've been hearing today, it's really understanding not only who you are, but that you haven't even touched the depth of your soul. And so to be able to broaden that and to expand on that and live in the present of each and every day. So it's, I'm looking forward to the book. I think it's going to be a life changer.
Just being it now means that you are available to be that expression without the mind chatter. And we all have mind chatter. And you can't get rid of mind chatter because it's energy. You can't get rid of or destroy energy. But you can shift it to where it's working for your good. So being in the present moment is that way, but it's also being in acceptance. So with everything going on in the world today, or in your family life, or in your business, you can either react or respond. But if you respond with acceptance, things shift for your benefit. And that's what I think people don't realize that. They don't want to accept because they want to resist. They want to be in that fight. They have a point to make. And of course we all do. It's okay to have our opinions. But when you get to that space, then when, for instance, when something happens in your business, you lose a big client and you say, oh my gosh, that was like our biggest client. But you say, okay, I accept it without any reaction. And I have chills saying this. Then within a day or two, bam, you have 10 more clients, or you have an even bigger client. Just accept, okay, or whatever ends up happening. Somebody quits.
What I think about when you say that is like, so often when things like very negative things happen to me at times, and I'll say to myself, well, then something better must be going to happen. So because it's true, it's like, wherever, if I think something like, oh, this is the end of something, or like you said, you lose something and you're thinking, oh, now what am I going to do? Usually then I'll stop for a minute, because that's the mind chatter, thinking the negative thing.
Yes.
And then I'll start thinking, well, wait a minute, this means I've opened the door to something else, something better, and something grander is going to come into my life. And I'm going to open the door and have it wide open and not climb through that window and say, yeah, let's take it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cece, yes. And I want to add something to what you just said.
Yes, please do.
What you said, but also to remind yourself to be in acceptance for whatever happens. Because if you are in acceptance for bigger, grander things, and then they don't happen, you just get frustrated. Oh, this stuff doesn't work. Just throw it out the window. But what we don't understand is there's always a divine timing. So there's 3D, three-dimensional time that is man-made. And then there's what quantum time, what Einstein talks about, and then there's a divine timing. So, and Joe knows me. I've been wanting to move before she moved. I've been wanting to get my retirement home and move, I think, for the past 10 years. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't. So Joe's moved, found her perfect place. My other friends have, my family. And I was in acceptance. And what I realized is a certain feeling of peace overcame me. And interesting, because I've been in acceptance and this state of peace. And I realized just today, I haven't moved because I need to be here for my elderly 84-year-old mother. So something happened and it woke me up. And it's like, the reason why we're still in this house is so that I can accommodate her and be here for her. And it gives me great joy to be able to do that while I have this house, right? So I didn't realize, that realization didn't happen 2 or 3 years ago. I just felt it today, but I was in acceptance, just acceptance. And then all of a sudden I felt peace about it. Like, okay, just peace. And that's where we can sometimes give up if we don't realize there's a divine timing here. So there's 3D time, there's the quantum time that Einstein talks about, and then there's this higher dimension of divine time. And that we have no control over at all, even though we have control over our thoughts, right? Thank you for letting me interject that.
I believe in that. I think it's true. I do believe that it is divine time. And so, like, sometimes if you wonder why things don't happen exactly how you want them to happen, it's because maybe this pause, it's supposed to happen. The pause that you're in, or vice versa. Maybe something happens to you and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to me. What am I going to do? But I do believe that because of divine timing, it is because something else is out there, and that it's now time for you to make that move or do whatever that needs to happen. So it's exciting. I think, I can't wait for your book to come out. Just Be It Now. I think that will really help us with some of the answers that we might have to some of these questions. And you're just so positive. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes, thank you. And stay tuned. We're going to have her on the Goodreads Authors Corner show as well.
I can't wait.
Look for that. And Marya, thank you for sharing. This is all the type of information we all need to hear consistently and frequently to remind ourselves that, all is well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I thank you again to both of you. You're both awesome. You're both beautiful. The work that you're doing is just amazing for this planet. And if I could just share with your audience one thing to take, a gem to really take back and embrace in business, make yourself a priority with love and reverence. Make yourself the priority, not the business. Make your life the priority. And then you start noticing that there's a balance. So usually us businesswomen tend to be workaholics, even though we're not. I'm just saying we can be. And so if you shift it to giving yourself 1 or 2 morning routines, whatever it is that you love, it could be just smiling, it could be writing, like Joe said, and make yourself that priority and notice how your life gets back into balance. Thank you. That's the gem I wanted to share today.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, again, your website is MaryFlurnoy.
Flurnoy. Marya Flurnoy.
Yes. And so make sure you guys, she's got that free gift for us, to make sure you let her know that you saw her here on LinktoEXPERT. And, you can be able to receive that free gift. So we're going to have to run. I hate to do that, but everyone, you guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the Link to Business Showcase. I am Cece Shatz. I have my good friend here, Joanne Weilman. I want to make sure you guys know that Joanne Weilman is the Chief Connections Officer and the founder of the collaboration cloud community called Link to Expert. So make sure you check that out, LinktoEXPERT.com. It's if you're in business and you haven't joined it, you must be on that site because it will definitely help move you forward. Again, if you guys want to reach me, I am the president, Joanne, of Relationship Building, president of the Going Solo Network. Just go to goingboldconnections.com or goingboldmedia.com and check us out. So we will catch you next time. So you guys, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for now.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.